Torrance County Government Building. If you take a look in the description, there is a whole bunch of links and phone numbers. I would strongly encourage people to reach out to anyone and everyone, any and every government entity in the state of New Mexico, and tell them we've had enough. End this goddamn mask mandate. At the Torrance County Government Building here to pick up some records. And handle a couple other things too. Burned in a house fire. Exit the building. And go where, Joe? Leave the plantation and go where? To a new plantation? Joe says, I have no pity. Like complaining you got burned in a house fire. Exit the building. Exit the plantation. Every single state. And most of you cowards accepted it for 3 or 4 years. Not all of you. But to those of you who did, you know who you are. You shouldn't have to go to a new plantation to be allowed to be free. That's a ridiculous argument. You buy land, you work the land, you homestead, you build a home, and then you think that because some violent thug came and decided to start arbitrarily controlling you, that you should just leave and go to a different plantation. That is a ridiculous argument. Looking for a buddy who is also in here conducting some business somewhere, and then I'm going to get the body cam footage. I just realized I need exact change though. I need $2.50. I'm gonna have to go to Hey. You seen Destry? Was Destry in here a minute ago? Okay. All right. No problem. I don't know where he's at. I see his car out front. Hey, how's it going? Can I just get some change, some quarters?
Oh, I think I could do that for you.
Awesome.
Only because I'm a nice old man.
Thank you. You're nothing like Frazee. He's a mean old man.
Okay, there's 4 quarters.
All right. Hey, if you want to see a cage match, you into UFC at all?
Oh, no.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not really.
Frazee, the sheriff,
Yeah.
he decided he wants to fight, so we're going to do a cage match and so if you want to come and see that, it'll be a good time.
Oh, okay.
You ever seen an old sheriff get his ass beat?
When's that going to be?
I'm not sure yet. I think he's got to get medically cleared. I don't know if that'll happen.
Oh.
But
Okay.
but he wanted it, so I said, let's do it. So hopefully, I'll come back and let you know and give you free tickets if it's going to happen. Yeah?
Okay.
All right, y'all.
Good enough. Take care now.
Have a good one.
You too.
Somebody told me yesterday you sound like Chili. Trying to have a cage match with Chad Goo, the cop in Ironton, Ohio. I just talked to Chad Goo this morning and said, hey, man. Hey. I said, hey, man, how do we set up a cage match with Frazee? He said, that guy's not getting medically cleared.
I just picked up my own copies.
Hi.
Oh, did you? Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you? You're
Good.
paying cash?
Yes, I just went into the treasury to get quotas.
Okay. that
Exact
means-
change. Are you
copied
busy?
I copied you on the email. You could have had copies of mine.
Yeah,
It's okay.
I made my
It's
request in
security.
person, I think, right before that.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I did it in person, and I wrote.
I heard.
Yeah. I wanted to read it out loud after I wrote it. I was like, "Can I please?" She's like, "You don't have to do that." Well, I want to. Can I? Yeah, you can read it. It said something along the lines of, "I want the body cam from bitch ass Frazee and."
okay.
Are you ready for me to get your records?
If you're ready, no rush.
I'm ready.
Okay.
I'm going to email this when I
Okay.
can. To let you know, I am having technical difficulties, so the email that usually follows up on all of this will come later, because
Okay.
they're on my computer right now.
Okay.
But I'll be right back.
Cool.
Or you could come in, whatever you want.
Are you
All right.
live streaming?
I am live.
So I don't want to, if anybody's not had breakfast, I don't want them to see my face yeah.
So this is Dominica, by the way. She is the records clerk out here. And we both made records requests for the body cam. You asked for the police reports as well.
Yeah.
And you got those just now?
She's having a computer issue. She's gonna send them as soon as they're done working on her computer, so.
Okay. But it has taken her less than 24 hours. She called me at 10 o'clock this morning. I made the request after she'd already left yesterday.
Yeah, she's super duper fast.
So this will be your, oh, sorry, I'm off.
Oh, you're good. Here, I'll put it here.
No, you're good.
Will you hold it for us?
Sure.
Thanks, Destry. I got that all over your face.
I know.
Holy cow, this is super high tech.
Okay.
You can see all my blemishes.
Wow.
You
Oh.
have to go to the treasurer, sorry.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
not qualified.
I don't want your
okay.
I don't have
your followers to see me and then lose their breakfast.
Qualifications, I don't wanna-
Yeah, no kidding. Qualifications, responsibilities.
Yeah, so whenever you're paying on, if I can.
Here, you guys can watch
Sign.
Freeman.
This is for me.
This is his best side. When you don't see his face.
I guess I didn't have to come in here and get quarters because I'm not here.
Yeah, I should have been more
That's
clear.
all right. No, it's fine.
We need to pay for some records. He's gonna pay cash. And then if I can get a copy of those as well. We're converting to a new system too, so it's a mess. We can't stand technology, so.
Is it heroic for a fit 30-year-old guy to beat the shit out of an 80-year-old man? Is that heroic or not?
Probably
I mean,
not.
He's the one who wanted to fight. I would never just normally walk up to some 80-year-old man and.
Yeah, well, he was armed and you were not.
I'm sure I'll catch some crap for it, but he wanted the fight.
So I might be interviewing him this afternoon. I offered him an opportunity to give his side, and so if your viewers have any suggestions as far as questions to ask, then I'd be happy to include some questions. I was going to ask some things about, for example, if this is supposedly a Second Amendment sanctuary county, where the previous sheriff had stated that he would not enforce that. So if he was given an order to take somebody's firearms, that he would not do that. So I wanted to find out, okay, well, if we're just following orders now, and if that's what we're back to, does that mean that if there's a red flag order, will the firearms be taken from the resident? So something along those lines. I was going to ask a question like that. So
Yeah. That's what's wrong with me, right?
so if your users have other questions, that'd be good.
Throw them in the chat or if you have questions you want asked of Frazee, put them in the comment section, not the live chat. Because it'll be easier for us to find those in the comment section than in the live
Don't
chat.
worry, Larry. It's
Good call.
happening. There ended up being two,
Sweet.
because the footage was too big for one.
Was the court hearing recorded on body cam? Do you know?
From what I seen, it wasn't, just from where Ballard was sitting, Lieutenant Ballard, and I don't know who the other deputy was, but Whitson didn't have his cam footage.
Never turned it on?
My understanding, whenever
request was sent out and Lieutenant Ballard responded. He said that he would be responding with the statement of why. Because whenever they don't provide PWC, I make them provide a statement. That way, if they question me, I know.
Because it's state law that they have to have their body cams on. So it sounds like besides arresting a woman for not wearing a mask, by the way, the deputy that arrested this woman for not wearing a mask is the same deputy that walked out in the street and punched people's mirrors out. So he's an actual criminal who's caused property damage, and it sounds as if he didn't turn on his body camera during the entire incident yesterday, which in New Mexico, it is state law that you must use your body camera when interacting with the public. So,
Wow.
I mean, this Chad Whitson guy is just, what a lawless thug.
Yeah, that's my understanding of it. So whenever I get back into my office and gain access to my computer again, because they're working on it,
Okay.
I'll check it, but I believe that's what it was. He didn't have no camera footage.
Okay. It's a dang shame. This is a dang shame what happened. You guys remember in Texas when the mandate stuff first started, the governor of Texas mandated that everyone close their non-essential businesses, and the only non-essential business is government. But anyways, there was that hair salon that remained open, right? You remember that? And there were some open carry folks who went out there in case the police came and tried to arrest her. Once they were gone, they did go and arrest her. And Governor Abbott, after that, said, yeah, I made the order, but I didn't expect anyone to get arrested for it. That's not what I wanted. And it's typical. These politicians, judges, whatever, they make orders all the time and they pretend
print the email, will you print,
that
or
there's
the
no
receipt, will you print me one
consequences.
as well?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Because all of a sudden it was a really political nightmare. Abbott, you had someone arrested for working to provide for their family, to feed their, that's what you did? And all of a sudden, when somebody stands up and the crap hits the fan, all of a sudden, all these guys want to scatter and nobody wants to take the blame for what happened. It was every single one of their fault, though. It's the Supreme Court justices, it's the governor, it's every cop that ever enforced it. It's Frazee's fault, it's Whitson's fault.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
You're
All
welcome.
right, thank you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You have a good
Bye.
night.
Have a good
Take it
one.
easy.
You too.
If he gets medically cleared, I'll get you free tickets to that match.
Okay.
Yeah.
It'll be heroic seeing a 30-year-old guy beat up an 80-year-old guy,
Guys,
right?
be looking for your emails because they will come sometime,
Okay.
whenever I gain access to my computer.
Right. Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome.
Hey, Beth, how are you today? How are you doing? Well, good to see you.
I wonder how your viewers like, how you
Hello,
doing?
good, thanks. How are you?
Good.
So, less than 24 hours.
I know, that's super fast. She's probably the fastest in the state.
And let's be honest, since I made the request after closing time last night, it was 2 business hours.
Yeah.
2 business hours from the time that she received
That is
the
crazy.
request until she called me and said, I've got your footage.
Yeah. I always tease her
Oh.
that she's like private sector.
I need to go in the county clerk's office and ask them how to go about doing a recall election.
So, I mean, I can tell you how, but you can.
Yeah,
we
let's
gotta-
ask them.
Okay.
Then you can tell us. Hey, I got some questions about some procedural stuff. Is the clerk here?
Actually, no, she.
Oh, okay. You guys give her a lunch break?
We have to.
Good for you. Good for you.
What about the deputy clerk?
Yeah,
She's on lunch too.
same time?
Well, actually.
I'm kidding. They're fine. All right. Do you know how we go about doing a recall election?
That is definitely something you need to speak about.
Okay, I am in the right department though to ask that question, right?
Elections would be the clerk.
Perfect. All right. Who said, raise your hands, who says we should recall Frazee after he arrested someone yesterday for not wearing a mask? Nobody's gonna raise their hand. You're okay. I know the camera's on. You're good. Come on, just do it. Who thinks Frazee should be in a cage? Who thinks he should go to prison? All right, nobody wants to talk. You guys, there's all kinds of numbers in the description. I don't normally just straight up encourage people to make phone calls. This is a call to action. And I've heard people tell me, oh, you can't make a call to action. You can't do no. This is a call to action. Contact every single government agency you can get a hold of in the state of New Mexico and tell them we're goddamn sick and tired of it. You end this goddamn mask mandate now. You end it everywhere. No more government mandates that cause people to be thrown into a cage when they haven't harmed anybody. Enough is enough. I put all kinds of contact information in the description below. There's the Supreme Court of New Mexico is the ones who made the mandate in the courts. There's both a phone number and an email for them in the description. So
This is addictive holding this thing.
you want to keep it?
This is. I just wonder if your viewers are okay with seeing your face this often, because, well, yours is definitely better than mine, but you're not much to look at, buddy.
Should we head up to the sheriff's? Or what time? Do you have a set meeting?
So I wanted to. No, not yet. I was gonna call him back, but I wanted to look at these cams first. These recordings, in case they impacted what questions I wanted to ask.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Like, for example, I heard, and I don't know if this is the case, but I heard that she was not read her rights.
Right. She was not given an attorney or even the opportunity to have an attorney present while she was tried in court.
Right. So,
But they made sure not to record anything, though, it sounds like. I'm
Yeah.
not sure. We'll see if Ballard had his on during the hearing. But.
so that's the other thing, is I can ask why didn't Whiston have his cam on? So
Because he does whatever the hell he wants. That's why Whiston.
Yeah.
I mean, when he wants to smash out somebody's mirrors, he smashes out somebody's mirrors. When he wants to put you in a cage because you didn't wear a muzzle, puts you in a cage.
yeah,
There's.
they weren't wearing masks at the sheriff's office. So
Right. And Whiston wasn't wearing a mask in the courtroom. If you go and look at my live stream, Whiston was walking through the courtroom and he came to the door to talk to me. No mask. In the courtroom. But he put someone in a cage for just that. And, I've actually talked to Whiston for probably a couple hours in total. And when you're just talking to him, he's a really decent guy. He's even a pretty cool guy. But Whiston is just like almost everybody else in our community. Good people, really good people. People who you break down on the side of the road, you could probably call Whiston and he'd probably come and help you out. But these are the exact same people who load people on train cars. The idea that it's evil men who do this type of stuff, that's not the way it's gone in history.
Mhm.
It's my uncle, it's my father, it's my brother, it's my friends, it's my neighbors. They are the ones who enforce this stuff. It's these good people obeying evil people that do bad things, and that's
Mhm.
exactly what I think Chad Whiston is.
I saw a comment from someone, and I won't name who it was because I know that they don't know any better. But on Facebook, they made a comment that, well, if a judge issues an order, then you have to follow it, and they can set the rules in their courtroom, and if you don't like the rules, then don't elect them. And I mean, there's so many problems with that statement, right? Obviously, but the fact that there are so many people who that's what they think,
Right.
and these are people who are both conservative and liberal, so it's
Right.
not a political leaning. They really believe, because they've been told, that a judge gets to decide what goes and what doesn't in their courtroom.
Arbitrarily.
Yeah.
And those rules were set for a reason, for the judge to be able to keep order and to be able to make sure and deliver due process in a organized fashion and in a fair way.
Mm-hmm.
But and so there's a purpose for it. I mean, you can't go in the courtroom and start circling around with picket signs saying "fuck the police."
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you just can't do that during a court proceeding. But they've taken it way too far, and it's not just a matter of keeping order and decorum in the courtroom. It's a matter of tyrant judges arbitrarily controlling people for absolutely no reason. It plays no role on how justice is or isn't delivered, these rules that they're trying to enforce.
Well, and the one thing that I do know about this judge, he didn't list all the rules that he was going to that he intended to implement in his courtroom. So people who elected him didn't have the luxury of knowing what he would be enforcing and what he would not be enforcing. He didn't tell them, okay, I will enforce the mask mandate for the residents if they are of a if they're in the public, but I won't enforce it on my own officers who are in. He didn't provide that list that this Facebook user suggested we are approving by electing the person. But what I do know about this judge is that he was present whenever we were witnessing the certification of the tabulators, and I expressed to him, why there's some vulnerabilities. And I know this is controversial, but I was saying, there's some vulnerabilities. But he basically said that, well, the people who and I'm just paraphrasing, but the people who see voting machines as having vulnerabilities are like the same kinds of people who try to get out of DWIs by saying that the breathalyzer wasn't certified. Well, if the breathalyzer is not certified, then it's not accurate, and you should not be arrested for DWI with that breathalyzer, and that's a legitimate reason for people getting out of.
And they do get out of it. The funny thing is, his argument is an argument that people have used in court and beat their DWI.
Right.
Because yes, your equipment does need to be certified. It does need to be working properly. Like.
But his feeling that, well, these are criminals. Anybody who doesn't trust the man, who doesn't trust the machines and the enforcers behind them, that they are criminals.
He's a former police officer. He's a former career police officer.
Yeah.
And that statement to you before he ever got even elected into office would tell you that he's already found everyone who comes into his courtroom guilty before they ever come into his courtroom. He's incapable of being impartial. Right. If a cop put handcuffs on you, he considers you guilty. That's it. Why would a cop put handcuffs on you if you weren't? Exactly. That's where this guy is at. And these are, never mind, I won't.
No, but you're right. That's the problem we have, is it's this mentality of the plebes versus the enforcers, and then you have the elitist class. And well, we're not enforcers. We're not in the elitist class. The only other class that we could possibly be in are the plebes, the criminals that they see everybody else as, and that's not at all, of course, what it should be. But that's the problem I see now that we're dealing with this mask issue.
And this is not a left. None of this should be a left versus right thing. And,
no, it's not.
And I, on my channel, point out a lot of things that, there's a lot of things where each party will kind of follow certain lines. And so people have called me a leftist, and they've called me a right-wing, what do you call it, alt-right? Yeah. Because I go against any tyranny, whether it's coming from the left and the right. You better believe both sides are doing it. And it doesn't matter who you elected, whether they got an R or a D on their name. It's government oppressing people. They all do it. Yeah. It's not one side or the other. They kind of pick and choose their different areas where, well, this side wants to oppress this certain thing. They're all garbage. And when it really comes down to the people standing up, both sides, politicians, sheriffs, left and right, doesn't matter what label they're wearing, when the people start standing up, they bond together against the people. There is no left and right to them. And as soon as the people start figuring out that there's no left and right, the politicians aren't left or right. They're all a team. Yeah. Yeah, and it just so happens that everybody who we have shined a light on lately has. Hey.
Are you still on?
Yeah.
Oh, I just don't. Can you not?
Yeah.
We're live too. Oh, okay. You don't want.
No, I just wanted to let you know. I heard you guys saying like how fast I was.
Yeah.
That was all Juan Torres. It wasn't me.
Oh, really? It was Juan Torres, the assistant county manager?
So, yeah, I was out with something with my kid, and he already knew this was going to happen, so he sent for the record. So they were ready. He
preemptively did it before we even requested it?
He did. So it wasn't me.
So this is very uncharacteristic of a government employee to not take credit for other people's work. Is this what they're teaching you guys here? Because this is not how government's supposed to operate. You're supposed to take credit for other people.
No, I
And then
don't.
you're supposed to blame other people.
No, I don't do that. That's not good.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to let you guys know because
Don't worry, man.
I did hear you saying that, and I'm like, no,
Wasn't
but I
me?
didn't want to turn around. You know what I mean? And then I saw you out here, so I'm like, no, I'm gonna go and let it credit where the credit was due. It's
Awesome. So it was
Deputy County Manager.
all right.
That's very nice.
Thank
Well,
you.
and I know that you guys all sort of act the same, and it. I'm not saying unconditionally that we support the county manager, because it's entirely possible that someday she won't do something that is correct. But so far, what I've seen is that she's fast, she's fair, and she teaches her people to do the same thing. And this is not typical of government.
Yeah.
So I'm
It caught me off guard when I first met the county manager here a couple of years ago, because there were people here digging their heels on it, being real asses and holding stuff up, and I was like, well, sweet, we can do a whole series for a couple of years if you want. And she stepped out and said, what can I do for you?
Yeah.
With a smile on her face and with genuine, care about what's going on, and boom, it fixed. And then I was like, well, what do I do? I've got everything I asked for. All I can do is walk away at this point.
Right.
And if more government entities would figure that out, we wouldn't be doing half of what we're doing.
yeah.
Well, again, I just wanted to give credit where the credit's due.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I did give you the records, but it was Juan that did it.
Tell Juan thank you.
You've done it in the past too, though. It's been the same thing every time. I make records requests, and you're so.
Don't
we-
pretend
we
like you're not
appreciate
efficient.
Well,
We appreciate
I'm
it.
as efficient as the departments are. It's
Yeah.
not me. They do the work, and then
I get that. Yeah, you're right.
So it's not me, but thank you guys.
Thank you.
No problem. Well, I'm gonna get home and review these.
Body cam footage.
Yeah, because I want. And so if you want to find out from your viewers what questions to ask.
Okay, yeah, if you guys have questions that you want the Estancia News to ask the local sheriff, put them in the comment section, not in the live chat that you're in right now. Thanks, Destry. I'll see you later, man. In the comment section, not in the live chat that you're in right now, but in the comment section. Also, I would strongly encourage everyone to contact every single number in the description and let them know that we are god dang sick and tired of this mask mandate stuff, and now you're throwing people in cages for it because they're sick and tired of it, and we're not going to do it anymore. There's contact information for the sheriff's department who arrested someone yesterday for not wearing a mask. There is contact information for the Supreme Court of New Mexico that made the mask mandate in the courts. There's contact information for the governor's office, who keeps empowering people to do this. She's continued to sign executive orders that are still in effect to this day. They're just not enforced in most places. And so people don't even realize that they're still in effect. And people say, oh, James, you can't encourage people to call. You absolutely positively have a First Amendment right to seek regress, to be able to redress your grievances with your government. That is one of the 5 elements of the First Amendment, is seeking redress for grievances with your government. You absolutely positively have every right to do that. And I would strongly encourage you to exercise that right. Thank you. Petition your government for redress of grievances. Thanks for helping me out with my words there. You don't see a comment area? Edwina Hewitt. So you'd have to back out of the video, and then there's a live chat, and then there's a comment section. Live chat and then comment. We're going to run up to the sheriff's department, though. And I bet the pussy ass... I'm sorry. I got to keep the language clean. I'm sorry I just said that, guys. I'm sorry I just said that. I'm going to say things like... I'm going to try and change my language to say things like poopy head and dummy head instead of cuss words. Because I want people to be able to have their children watch this as well with them. Because I don't think there's anyone more important to reach than children. So we got to keep this at least a little kid friendly. But that sissy sheriff, I doubt will even be there. What's going on is that yesterday in Torrance County, the sheriff who said he would not arrest anybody for refusing to wear a mask, arrested a woman, a tiny little woman, for refusing to wear a mask. They took her to a cage, and the name of the sheriff is David Frazee, Torrance County Sheriff. Contact information is in the description below. The name of the judge is Craig Davis. He's the judge in, he's the Torrance County judge at Magistrate Court in Moriarty. There's contact information for him as well in the description. So this is about someone getting arrested in 2023. This happened just yesterday afternoon. In 2023, they arrested someone for not wearing a mask. And the sheriff that made the arrest, that ordered the arrest, is the sheriff that said he would not enforce a mask mandate in a courtroom or anywhere else. That's right, Crazy Frazee. So we're gonna head down there to his office real quick. As a matter of fact, I'm supposed to pick up some records. They've got the security cam footage from the day that they swatted me at the court. And I'm supposed to pick up those records. And as you guys saw, that court order that says that I'm not allowed to enter the court without an escort from a sheriff's deputy. So I'm gonna go get myself a sheriff's deputy to escort me to pick up my records. It's running now. He's running now. I'm sure he's watching. Yeah, I know, right? And hey, let me also tell you guys something else. I'm probably going to be live for at least an hour, maybe 2 hours today. For those who are joining me, I'm going to be running around. This is not something I would typically do on this channel, where I just live stream everything that's going on. I typically do those shortened, edited videos that get right to the point. Live streams are very different. You get the whole thing, even the parts that you don't want, the downtime where I'm traveling between places. But let me tell you guys this. There are a whole bunch of us in the community that knew exactly what Frazee was from the very beginning, which is a lying sack of poop. We knew he was a poopy head from the very beginning when he was first campaigning and he started coming and offering our children candy in the park and free hot dogs. And when we got to talking to him, we realized right off the bat, he'll say anything that people want to hear, but he's a liar, a snake, and a scumbag. And there were those of us in the community that tried to tell people, no, this guy's a politician. Of course you want to vote for him. He's telling you everything you want to hear. And there were a handful of us that knew he was a poopy head, though. But he got elected, and I made a choice, and I said, you know what? I strongly believe this guy to be a real poopy head, but I'm going to give him every chance to do the right thing, genuinely. Like not out to get him, not out to prove that he's a poopy head. My goal was to genuinely give him 110% every chance, every possibility in the world to do the right thing, to be honest, to have integrity, and to be a good sheriff. Because no matter what I thought about him, I felt that he deserved the opportunity to at least prove himself. And so we were trying to allow him to do that. And that's what we've been doing for the last couple of months, trying to allow him to prove us wrong. And so we knew, though, that he would arrest people for not wearing a mask. We knew it. There wasn't a doubt in our minds. The thing was, we knew he wouldn't arrest us. He wouldn't arrest me. He wouldn't arrest Destry. There's a few other people in the area that are really outspoken, and we were pretty confident that he wouldn't arrest us for not wearing a mask. But we were also very confident that all we had to do was wait, and he would do something like this to somebody else. And so those of you who saw him say, we're not going to arrest anybody who's not wearing a mask and blah, 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 and you're like, oh, he's a constitutional sheriff. I was like, good, man. This is great. Now, he has the opportunity to be, no matter what, he was going to be world famous. Because he's the sheriff in the county where Realjamesfreeman lives. He's going to be world famous. The question is it going to be good or is it going to be bad? And I genuinely bent over backwards to try to give him every opportunity to be that good sheriff that would go down in history as that guy who had the balls to stand up against evil and do what's right. But we knew what he would do. We knew he was a snake. All right, so I've been told that they have records for me here. But as you guys know, I've got that order that says that I have to get a sheriff's deputy to escort me. And so that should be fun in itself, right? That should be fun in and of itself, that I have to get a deputy to escort me everywhere. Now here's they always keep this locked. I'm told if I knock on it though that they'll open it. So So I have to get an escort, which means that anywhere I go in this court, there's an extra body cam running. Yeah, cop knock, you better believe it. I just did knock like a cop. Which means if I'm going to go observe a court hearing, I have to have a deputy with me. And per state law in New Mexico, any cop who is interacting with a member of the public has to have their body cam on. So this court just made an order that I can't walk into a courtroom without a special escort with a camera. You like that? Yeah, they went full retard, didn't they? Kick the door. They told me I'm supposed to knock to be able to get in. Saying poopy head actually sounds more disturbing. Please talk like an adult. I'm offended by poopy head. Call them low standards. Thanks for the super chat. I tried educating Murbies last night. Tried. I really want people to be able to watch with their kids. And I feel like name calling isn't always the best thing anyways, but you know what? We'll compromise at poopy head instead of cuss words, huh? What's going on? Nobody works here? You work here? What's up, man? Good. I do, but where from? I reckon. Yes. What's up, dude? What are you doing? You're not trying to work here, are you?
I was looking into it.
Well, shit's gonna hit the fan here, man.
That's good.
You hear Crazy Frazee wanted to fight me yesterday? Yeah, but yeah, well, he's got to take off. He wanted to fight, but he wanted me to get arrested for it. So I told him, take off the badge and gun, man. I'll be a real hero, you know, fit 30-year-old man beating the shit out of an 80-year-old. That's heroic, right? As long as he consents, though. You know.
You better consent.
Yeah, so yeah, we're trying to set up a cage match, but my buddy who sets up fights, there's no way he's gonna pass the medical. So I don't know, you know, he got up in my face. Like the way he walked up to me, if I had walked up to any cop like that, I'd be on the ground in a fucking heartbeat. Don't work here. There's about to be, I'll tell you what, man, he's losing a lot of his deputies too.
Yeah, that's what I kind of did.
Yeah, he fucked up.
We'll see how it goes, man.
All right, brother.
Be safe, okay?
All right, man. Head up to Moriarty. They seem pretty decent lately.
Dude, that's too far for me.
Is it?
I think it's kind of a drive.
Yeah.
This is kind of pushing the limit for me.
We'll see you, man. All right, well, I guess I'll have to go in the other door to the sheriff's department. If you guys want to contact the sheriff's department and ask them why they've always got their door locked, you could do that. You know, the thing about Sheriff Frazee too is that about half of his deputies ain't gonna have his back. The other half, they're going down with him. So there's the court that has my records, but I can't go there without an escort. They don't answer the phone. phone's ringing. I can hear it.
I follow it completely what the judgment decides or conditions set.
Sure.
Okay, so
Hey, where's the sheriff?
He's on the phone. He's been on the phone pretty much all morning.
Been on the phone all morning. Are people calling him?
What do you think?
Are they mad at him for being a piece of poop? Well, I need to pick up some records at the court. And,
An escort?
yeah, I would love an escort.
Let me get you somebody.
Yeah. Look at everybody on the phone here. These phones. Good job, guys. Don't forget to also, please call the Supreme Court of New Mexico. The Supreme Court of New Mexico, definitely call them. There's an email for them as well. This order comes from the Supreme Court of New Mexico. Call them, too. It looks like everybody in the sheriff's department is on the phone. Oh, yeah, sorry. No, you're good. It looks like Frazee might have run. And guys, don't let them tell you that just because a judge says that they have to arrest somebody, that they have to arrest somebody. I'm telling you guys, that is how Jews get put on a train car and into a gas chamber, is when we believe that we have to obey other men. You always have the option to do the right thing, and especially as an elected sheriff, you have more power and authority and ability to do the right thing than anybody else out there. Don't let them convince you, oh, well, somebody else told him to do it, so he had to. It didn't work in the Nuremberg trials, and it's not going to work here. Enough is enough. We're done. So the sheriff is in that office right there. And by the way, even his constituents in the county, I know that a lot of you who are watching this are from all around the nation and all around the world. Even his constituents in the county who supported him 100% and voted for him are pissed right now. They are pissed. They got to find out that he is nothing but talk, that he's exactly what we told everyone he was when he first started campaigning. A piece of poop who will tell you what you want to hear and then stab you right in the back. The sheriff of Torrance County, New Mexico, yesterday arrested a woman for not wearing a mask. 2 weeks after, on the live stream, he said, "We will not enforce a mask mandate in a court or anywhere else." Two weeks after saying, and we're talking, this was yesterday, yes, 2023. I'm not saying this happened 3 years ago in 2020. No, this happened yesterday, 2023. Constitutional Sheriff David Frazee of Torrance County 2 weeks ago said, "We will not enforce any mask mandate in a courtroom or anywhere else," and 2 weeks later arrested someone for not wearing a mask in a courtroom. And all of a sudden, all the people that donated to his campaign and voted for him get to see what he really is.
So Deputy Torres will escort you probably 10-15 minutes once she's done with her assignment here.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
Okay, thank you.
So I'm waiting for my escort to pick up records.
give me about 15 minutes and then I'll escort you.
Okay. Hey, can Frazee escort me?
He's on the phone.
He's on the phone? I think he should escort me. I mean, honestly, I don't have 10 or 15 minutes. So yeah, if you could
He's
just,
on the phone. He'll probably be hours.
yeah, just let him know. Come on out and escort me.
I'll see what I can do.
Yeah. I think a lot of people want to hear from him anyways. I think they want to hear him explain himself. Maybe rather than being on the phone, we've got 1,200 people here. He can explain himself to all of them at once. Just tell him not to get up in my face like you did last time. I might have to defend myself.
If he gets off the phone, I'll get a message to him.
Okay.
I will. I do too. And you are?
Let's see if I can call and get a hold of the sheriff. Got my other phone here. Torrance County. Oh no, I got no signal. Maybe I can borrow one of the office phones to call the sheriff who's in the room right back there. Kathy, can I borrow your phone to call Frazee?
I don't have his number
Okay.
at all. I don't have none of the numbers,
All right.
so
He's right back there, but he won't come out.
I have no idea.
And so David claims they're not charging or arresting anyone for the mandates. The reason she was transported.
Hi, you are? Richard, do me a favor?
Okay.
Have a seat between that glass right there and I'll come get you.
So Pikes Peak auditors just texted me. Pikes Peak's auditors just texted me. He said, I just spoke with David. His voicemail was full, so I called back. Supreme Court didn't even answer. David claims they are not charging or arresting anyone for the mandates. The reason she was transported was because they contractually have to do that when the judge orders someone into custody. But he said he texted Destry and is going to do the interview this afternoon. Just waiting for Destry to text him back. Okay, awesome. Thanks, Pikes Peak auditors, for the update on that. And, you know, he had quite a grin on his face yesterday, though, as you guys saw when I asked him, so you're arresting someone for not wearing a mask. And he was proud as can be, grinning, when he said, yep, sure am. And, you know, this whole, will we have a contract to transport them? Again, I get it. I get it. You got all kinds of written rules within government. I'm telling you, you do not have to obey people who are telling you to do something wrong. I don't care if they tell you to transport someone to a jail for not wearing a mask, or if they tell you to transport someone to a gas shower for being a Jew. I really don't care. Your excuses don't work for me. All right. You make your own choices. And that didn't work in kindergarten when our friend told us to do something stupid and we did it. And the teacher said, well, if the friend told you to jump off a cliff, would you do it? No, it's not okay. You don't get to blame other people for your actions. I don't care what your excuse is. Enough is enough. And you guys saw the grin on his face and how thrilled he was to be arresting her. He thought it was funny. I really don't care about your transportation contract. When we're done here, we will head up to the court again too, and go and confront the judge that ordered this, Craig Davis. I was told that everyone from the courthouse yesterday evening was escorted out by police. There were residents who were in the area watching. Said when they came out, they all had police escorts out to their car. I think it was Thomas Jefferson that said, when the people fear the government, there is tyranny. When the government fears the people, there is liberty. Cool. Transport the person to the nearest exit and uncuff them. You've fulfilled your contract to transport. I say that's not even acceptable. You let her sit in the back of the courtroom quietly and observe like she was there to do. Probably at least 30, maybe 40 feet away from everybody else in the back of the courtroom, sitting there. Wouldn't put a mask on, so. No, I would say even to physically remove her from the courtroom would be wrong. And Frazee is a poopy head. I'm working on trying not to cuss, Kathy.
I'm so proud of that. We'll say that is a good thing.
What do you think about calling Frazee a poopy head instead of bad cuss words? Still an ad hominem, right? Not gonna. You don't want to answer that, do you? That's a good idea. I'm sorry I asked.
I respect the office, I respect his winning that office, and that's it. You know how.
People are coming up with names for him. We got Crazy Frazee, Frazee the Fraud, Skid Mark. Skid.
That's not appropriate.
What do you think would be an appropriate way to describe a sheriff who violates the Constitution?
But I think the phone calls that are coming in, because I have them, because I get, are not appropriate either. They're absolutely disgusting.
Yeah.
They're awful.
Yeah. And, you know, in most
They're
cases,
awful.
in a lot of cases, I would say that, you know, at this point, people have been pushed to their wits' end. People have lost their businesses, their livelihood, have lost everything. Family members to suicide over this whole scamdemic. We are sick and tired of it. So, you know what I do, because there's a lot of people in this county that I care about, but I love them. And some of them are having to answer these phones. And so at first I was conflicted, but you know what? If I say you pick up the phone too and call the Supreme Court, we're all sick of this. I understand that even some of the people answering the phones are sick of this, but who else? What else do we do? I mean, obviously voting and all this isn't working. Sorry, go ahead.
I also feel that how they're responding, if you don't hear on the end of it, they're not some people, and you and I've discussed it, been there, done that. They're not, I will sit and talk to anybody if they would just tell me. But what's happening is the phone calls themselves are very awful
Mm-hmm.
and disgusting. And that's why I think you lose the battle if people are calling it and calling you the most despicable names, whoever's on the end of it, that had nothing to do with it and they may feel the same that you do, but it's still employment. And they didn't have no cause in it, they weren't there, and yet to hear it on the other side, they're gross, they're disgusting. I don't think anybody should have to hear that.
James,
Hey,
hey,
how's it going?
I'm gonna go outside and talk with me.
Yeah, I have
please.
a live going.
I
Yeah.
know, but you're really upsetting Donna.
Who?
Really, Donna, she's
Oh, right
getting
here?
really upset. So I was just wondering if we could go outside and then Monica will join us out there when,
With the
She's
live stream or
definitely-
what?
yeah,
I'd rather that Sheriff Frazee just come out.
he's fielding calls.
Well, maybe he could just come and talk to the camera and talk to everybody all at once.
Okay, I'll see if he's willing to do that.
I mean, he's talking to one person at a time. We've got
Okay.
doesn't he come talk to 1,300 people?
Mhm.
Who? Right here?
What?
She's-
Donna's getting really upset.
That's Donna?
Mhm.
Why, just because it's here? Or what?
Yeah,
She's behind her computer. You can't see her.
Look,
Look, I think we've tried for 4 years to be reasonable, and I know there's a lot of people in here that even agree with it. But here's what I say: ask Donna to pick up the phone and call the Supreme Court in New Mexico too. Ask her to send emails.
Mhm.
We're we're
We can't
done.
do that while we're on the job.
Sure we
Because they do
can.
that. No, we can't. We can't do that while we're on the job. We can do that outside hours,
I think that on the job would be the best time to do it.
but it's not, we just can't, we are not allowed to do political things
It's-
while we are on the job.
Everything
We
about
actually
government
have
is
to-
political.
No, yeah, but for example, at the commission office, if we were to want to get up there and give public comment, we have to actually clock out. We can't do that on time. We can't get paid
Mm-hmm.
while we do that.
Well,
We're
that's
allowed to
something
do
I'd
that.
actually pay for. All right, clock out, and then we'll.
Oh.
I look. I'm sorry, but this has gone on too long and too far, and now we're putting people in cages over it. I'm sorry. What's going to happen at this point is going to happen.
Mhm.
That's it. It's
Yeah.
maybe people should have stood up and fought 3 years ago.
Okay,
But-
well, maybe as a citizen, you get your people to actually use this as an example where you have a case in which you can go take it on to the courts
Yeah,
to
that's-
show that how it's an unconstitutional
Yeah,
thing. I
but
mean,
that's just it. I've spent up to 5 years at a time fighting
Mm-hmm.
unconstitutional crap.
Yeah.
And you know what happens is I get charges dismissed, I win
Mm-hmm.
lawsuits, but they keep doing it to the next person. And that's what happened here. There's no way Frazee was going to arrest me for going into a courtroom without a mask.
Mm-hmm.
Me. But he was going to arrest everybody else. And at this point, we need to make it clear you're not going to violate any citizen. And if you do, you better believe everyone's coming at you.
Well, I mean, since he had talked
It's-
about that, we had meetings with the court, and I mean, with the Supreme Court saying what it's doing now, then the judge is trying to abide what the Supreme Court is directing him to do. If they issue a contempt of court, we don't really have a choice.
We always
I
have
mean-
a choice. We always
Well,
have a
then we
choice.
get thrown as contempt of court too, so we just get the entire department thrown in jail?
I think so.
Hmm.
And I'll go with you.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I mean, that would be
We-
the
we
other
are at
option.
we are at a point where we are out of reasonable options.
Mm-hmm.
We've already exhausted all of that.
Uh-huh,
I don't care who is or isn't reasonable at this point.
okay.
We have exhausted almost 4 years of this.
Mm-hmm.
People being terrorized, losing their businesses, losing their family members to suicide, and it's not the scamdemic, or I'm sorry, the thing. It's over the reaction by government to
Yeah.
it. And enough is enough. This is going to end. And I genuinely am sorry. You want me to take some of the calls? I'll take some of them too, but I'm still going to encourage them to call.
I'll let you in just about a second, hold on.
You're gonna.
Okay.
You want me to take some calls?
When it rings, I'll let you.
All right.
When we talk to them personally, they're pretty good. When they leave messages, they're very
They're very
horrible.
raunchy.
They're
awful.
very raunchy.
They're awful.
And I do
And
get
you're
that.
talking
And-
about
and-
doing sexual acts like toward me and
Yes.
stuff, so not just,
That's what I was telling you. That's what
I receive them too.
2 weeks,
Mhm.
awful.
You know I receive them too, right, Kathy? I get emails, a picture of me and my daughter standing together. It says, "Who dies first, you or her?" So I know that there's people on every side who don't understand. Hey, there's a limit, and you shouldn't threaten to kill people. You shouldn't threaten to rape people. I get that.
yeah.
But you know what? People are mad. I'm not saying that that's how they should do it, but I honestly don't even care if they call up and yell and scream at everybody. What do we need to
I don't want to
do?
yell and screaming, but when
Yeah.
it comes to a little bit of, the other stuff, then that's wrong too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not right. The callers are calling. I'll talk to you. And when it happened to me, I sat and talked to as many as I could. But when the minute, and I listened to it, I literally listened to it. But I had a couple that really said, hey, well, talk to me about it. And that was great. But the majority were disgusting.
At this point, with this particular thing, though, I think we're done talking. This is going to end. I'm trying to figure out exactly what the best way is, but I'll tell you what, filing a lawsuit isn't it. Working within the system is definitely not the answer to this. Now, whether we need to go up to the Supreme Court and surround the building, and I'm telling you, that's in the works. We're not just going to come here, but you got to understand, it's everybody that's done this. It's the Supreme Court as well as those below them that are enforcing it. We all have our own agency and ability to say, no, we're not going to do this. I don't care what you're paying me to do. I'm not going to hurt people for money.
Right.
It's
But, and again, and I think a lot of people agree because we're tired and exhausted. But at the same token, if the place a personal place, I don't want you coming in without a mask because it happened in another state, I left. I mean,
Yeah.
That's my.
but that's a
choice.
private
Yeah.
business too.
And I understand, it's exhausting or whatever, but there's some that are taking the hit, that it wasn't left up to us. And I agree with you. I agree with you if we're against it, but it has to be on our own time, our personal time. We say, hey, we're tired of it.
So what day do you all want to come up to the Supreme Court at Santa Fe? When do you all want to clock out and come up there with us then?
Schedule it on a Saturday. Well,
They'll be closed.
That's true.
So the last time we went to
Well,
a,
I was gonna say, it's after hours.
Schedule it on a vacation day.
the last time we did a demonstration at a court was in Dallas, Texas. We got a few hundred people, strapped rifles on, built a working guillotine and marched it up the steps of the courthouse. I think we're going to bring that guillotine out here. Is it not to,
I mean, schedule some, announce that and let people that have the resources to take a day off to go up there and have the desire to join you.
How many of y'all who are live would donate to these county employees their day's wage and their travel expenses to come up there with us?
I wouldn't even ask for that for myself. I would just do it on my own, period.
Yeah.
Some people can't afford it though, and I get that.
Yeah.
You got to be at work or you're not paying your bills.
Right,
But
right.
how many of y'all would be willing to help donate to those people? Say, no, you know what? We're government too, and we are also sick of it. This has gone way too far. It is way beyond time to end this.
I am correct, Kathy, in saying.
There's Frazee.
when,
He's not on the phone.
Oh, okay. If, for example, if we violated, the judge issues a contempt of court order and a deputy refuses, that deputy could then be held in contempt and then could be arrested by some, is that correct?
He'd have to find another deputy who's willing
I
to
mean,
do it.
either that
We
or
had
like
this-
a different law enforcement agency.
We had this happen in Missouri. There was a judge who made an order that said that you can't have cameras in the hallways in the courtroom, or the courthouse, the hallways. The sheriff, the elected sheriff, came and said, we will not enforce that order. And unlike Frazee, he meant it. And so the judge said, well, I have no enforcement for my rule then. The next day there was a sign, due to the fact that the sheriff will not enforce the rules have been changed. I understand that some people think, well, there's rules, they're written. No, we can change it. With enough public pressure, we can make dang sure it gets changed. And the deputy who refused to arrest someone, it's difficult. It takes courage, genuine courage, to stand up
Yeah.
and risk losing your job, your livelihood, to do the right.
Yeah.
Now that is courage. That's courage that I have.
Yeah, I mean, because like
But
yourself,
But-
they got families to support, and so, yeah.
But then after they do it, the whole world is done with this. You think if Frazee had done the right thing, he would be world famous for being one of the best men in this country, the best sheriffs in this country. He shot himself in the foot.
But I will say this, I was there yesterday and left, because I don't know what happened when they're all there. So unless you're sitting there going on with it, I don't know what happened. I have no idea what was said there, how it proceeded, have no clue. So I'm not even gonna comment it because I don't know.
Yeah, I just
And
didn't
I
know how
see-
the law works for
Yeah, I
contempt
see
of
what you're
court.
saying. When the contempt of court, you've seen people get contempt of court by yelling at judges, cussing them out. I'm gonna hold you in contempt for 30 days. Normally they don't. They'll say, okay, 10 days later, I'm gonna let you go, but so there is a contempt of court, and I get that. But I don't know as far as, I'm not as apprised of that and knowledgeable to say, hey, I see what you're saying about them being very brave, but there might be, and I'm not talking about this county, I'm not even talking about Torrance County, I'm not talking about any city. There might be, if you look at the worldview today, and I'm with you, I see, look what's going on today to people who shouldn't be sitting in prison, but they are, because of something that they didn't even do. So I think sometimes that trickles down to smaller departments that say, I'm not doing it, because I've seen what happened in Washington DC or Dallas or New York or whatever, and it puts the fear. Sometimes they got families too, and maybe that, you have to consider that's part of a mindset when they're being asked to do something right then and there. They go to the academy and learn certain things, but they don't teach them that at the academy. So then you're just kind of going, okay, what am I gonna do? I get what you're saying, but at the same time, you gotta kind of think what they're thinking too. It's not that they don't feel the same way that you do, it's that they are going, okay, hold on a second, let me think this through. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? That,
Well, yeah, because they're,
it's not just a job, it's emotional.
I get what you're
It's
saying.
absolutely emotional.
I do, but we're past
I understand.
we're past being
I
reasonable.
understand.
It's
But I'm just kind of one of those that And you know how I feel about that? I put my faith in Christ, I'm a Christian, I put my faith in Jesus Christ, I don't worry about it. I get where you're coming from as far as, I've even had that, we need to fight for that, I get that, and that's a choice that we make. Whether you wanna go to the state capitol.
You know,
I agree, I
I
understand what
genuinely
you're
think
saying.
if we were to sit back and do nothing, and I weren't live here right now, and I wasn't live, and we didn't do anything, then these orders would probably continue for the next 10 years, maybe. I genuinely believe that based on what we're doing right here, right now, and if you all are even more powerful, if government employees will join us up there at the Capitol and say, no, that's enough. It sends a powerful enough statement that we can change what's happening. And no filing in court is ever going to get done what we can get done by marching up there to that Capitol and saying, we're done. That's enough.
So can I look at your camera just?
Yeah,
set down
on this
there?
side, the chat.
I just want to see what you can see.
Oh, yeah, she's behind her desk. You can't even see her.
I want to see, this is my staff, they're upset, I want to reassure them. That's my main objective right now.
Look, I think that
Yeah.
most of the people in here know that I've done nothing but compliment Torrance County for a long time now because of the way that they handle things. And look, I'm sorry we're in the situation that we're in right now, but we are in it.
But
And I'm not
I also
stopping
believe, too,
until the problem
I
is
also
actually fixed.
believe too that I get some of your callers feel the same way that you do, but I also believe you're not gonna get anywhere if some of the calls that we hear on the other end, I don't think anybody earns that. My worst enemy, I would on the end of some of these phone calls and listen to what we have to hear, and it's personal, it's not, now it might be just.
Well, don't,
catchy,
I'll say
but
this, don't
they're
take it
terrible.
personal. Don't take it.
But it doesn't,
But
I'm
you
not taking
still,
it personal.
we're required to listen to that.
But-
I mean,
But they're horrible. I mean, they're horrible. And so I think you.
Well, then why don't we start-
Anybody sitting here would take a phone call and tried. But what they do is they over scream you, they over yell you, they use foul language, they talk about horrible things that they're gonna do to you. And they just keep screaming and you're saying, if you'll just talk nicely, I will listen to you. But
I know
they
that-
just
Then,
scream.
then why don't we try to
Scream.
figure out a date sometime, but before the end of the day, a date that will work for all of us to go up to the Capitol, and then when they call, you can say, hey, we're with you, we're sick of this too. And then you can tell them, we're headed up to the Capitol to protest this, come up there and meet us up there.
I'm not gonna tell, if I wanna do it, I'm gonna do it with whoever, and stuff, but I'm not gonna say I don't disagree with you on that. I agree with as far as.
Let them know you're with them then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm mad
Let them
too.
know who. I don't-
Whoever's calling
I don't have anybody. I was like-
Whoever's calling that's mad about this, sure, not everyone is as classy as you and knows how to control their words and the things that they say. But really, are they with you? I mean, you take all the ad hominems and the name calling out, you're all sick of it.
But the thing about it is if you have a group and then like she said, I'm not doing this, I have a profession to do and I work with certain people and do the best I can and.
him go without being on camera?
What's that?
Can I let my guy go without?
Is he in there? Yeah, it's pointed that way.
Okay, good.
Do you need paper? And, but yeah, I wouldn't say that if there's a group that I wouldn't do the same because I agree. I even said it in a situation, in my profession situation. Why are we doing this? Because even Biden said, we're done. We're
Right.
done. And you're like going. "What?"
World Health Organization said it's over, the president said it's over. Even if you believed in
I
it
agree with
before,
you.
like, it's over.
Yeah. And but I will say professionally, everybody that I deal with, utmost respect for them and the position that they sit in, period. And that's where I stand on that. I will never down any profession that whether it be elected, sitting on a bench, whatever, I respect that position and never would I go against that position.
Did you respect Hitler's position? Would you go against it? I know it's the most extreme and cliche example.
It is
But-
cliche.
but-
I'm glad you
but-
said that because it's so
but-
cliche.
But it does happen over and over, and it's not always genocide, but sometimes it's just mass incarceration.
So why don't you just say, well, don't you tell us not to take it personal when we hear the other end of it? Why are they taking it personal?
What do you
Right?
mean?
If
Their
someone-
livelihood being taken away?
Well, if that's what could, I don't want my livelihood taken away. I may not agree, but I want my livelihood taken away. In the work that I've been blessed with. So I
Yep.
already said that. But at the same token, you're sitting there telling me, don't take personal how disgusting these calls are why are some people taking it personal that you had to put a mask on? It's not personal. He didn't mean it as, I can't speak for him, I'm not gonna do that. It's not personal. This is the order. Then why isn't it the same deal? Why isn't it the same? I'm not supposed to take it personal.
Someone
so
calling
why-
you names is different than someone putting you in a cage, I think. Someone calling you a poopy head is, I know they've called you much worse. Like I said, I'm trying not to cuss. So
Yeah.
someone calling you a poopy head, in my opinion, you
But how
know.
about somebody using dispatch to say that they're doing something, and they usually used dispatch, an agency, to call a threat to anybody that's within the system that we didn't, that we're just on the end of it. That's, you're going a little bit, I see what you're saying, but I think sometimes it's done wrong.
All right. Well, I got
Okay.
Deputy Torres is going to escort me. I get special treatment. Body cam's on, right?
Of course.
All right. Thank you so much.
How are you?
Good, how you doing?
Are you here for me? Oh, okay.
So I think I flipped you off yesterday.
Did you?
I saw you coming the other way in the SUV, and I thought the car that took Tina was an SUV, the Tahoe.
No, that wasn't me.
Okay, well maybe I did flip off the right person. I saw him coming back down the road, and I was giving him the finger, and then as it went by, I was like, "Wait a second, was that Deputy Torres?"
No, that wasn't me.
I'm gonna be getting it for that.
I would probably give you crap for it.
Yes. But I thought it was Chad. Maybe it was Chad. Good.
Maybe
If it
Chad.
wasn't, good.
I didn't leave till almost 5, so.
Okay. So this court has issued an order that says that I am, I don't remember the exact words, a pain in the butt. And therefore, I cannot enter the courthouse without having a sheriff's deputy to escort me through the courthouse. So I'm here to pick up records. Yeah, it's definitely an illegal order. Absolutely. And the reason that the order exists is because you guys contacted the court. It specifically says on the order, because people have contacted the court on behalf of James Freeman, that he can't come in here without an escort. So I would encourage you to exercise your right to redress your grievances with the 7th Judicial District as well. Please, by all means, give them a call. Let them know what you think about that order. But we can't have cameras in the courtroom, right? No. But you have to escort me if I go into the courtroom, and by state law, you can't turn off your body cam when you're interacting with the public.
No, I can't.
Exactly. So their order made it so that it is mandated that when I'm in a courtroom, there's a camera going. I think that's wonderful. Is there any hearings going on today?
Not that I'm aware of. I didn't come in until later. I had scheduled meetings with my vendors later, so.
Okay. If there was, I would want to go observe a hearing as a member of the public, and
Let's go check.
yeah. And then I would have to leave this out here, but of course your body cam has to stay going, so we get to record the entire court proceeding.
They'll usually tell you on the doors if there's hearings.
And by the way, earlier when they were talking about
I couldn't really.
Nothing?
No, nothing today.
earlier when they were talking about Juan Torres, who filled that records request
It was
within.
not my husband.
No,
About the one from the magistrate or?
no.
Oh, okay.
No, he filled a records request for me in 2 hours.
Oh, see, he's awesome.
That was your husband.
That was my husband. I thought you were talking about the other one. I was like,
No,
no, that's
no,
not
no,
my
no.
husband.
Nope. Yeah, he was the one who got me the body cam footage in 2 business hours from what happened yesterday.
I'm quite fond of him.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You like him?
I am quite.
I like him too. I don't know if I like him quite the way you do, but but I like him
I
too.
would hope not.
Oh, you're fine, take your
No,
time.
he's pretty awesome. He's very good at what he does. Very, very good. And he treats me extremely well, so that's all I can ask for. No, he said yesterday that I guess they were confusing him with somebody else.
Okay,
that's
who's
what-
this other Juan Torres then?
I don't know.
Okay.
That's why.
Who was confusing him with somebody else?
all the calls he got?
Really?
hmm
Hmm.
So that's why I thought you were talking about.
Okay. Nope, nothing bad to say about him.
No, not that guy.
He started getting the body cam footage before we even requested it because he knew we were going to.
Mm. That's pretty cool.
James found a loophole to get his videos in court. Yep, It's mandated now. I have to record every court proceeding. How many of you guys think this is a waste of your tax dollars too, though? I mean, I kind of like that I get the escort and then I get somebody who goes in and records for me. But I don't think it's fair that the public has to pay for it. I think that's wrong. I mean, these deputies have a lot of things that they could be doing, like arresting David Frazee.
I'm like, I do have stuff to do. Like,
That wasn't on the list? I like the special treatment, but it's not fair. Nobody else in the county gets a special escort by somebody who's armed, an armed bodyguard with a camera. And it's unfair that everybody else doesn't get that.
oh, okay. You need one of those lights.
A little circle light.
Yeah.
I've got one at my desk in my studio. But I would sit in every case. Yeah, I'm going to start sitting in on a lot more. They've been doing a lot of them remotely, though, through Zoom, and so I have sat in on a few of those with Gordon Bennett, as a matter of fact. And he ran his stupid mouth in one of them, so I'll be publishing that. Told me that I can't record it and I can't publish it, so you better believe I started recording it, and you better believe I'm going to publish it. He completely misunderstands what the laws actually say about recording in court proceedings. They are public.
Oh, you want me up there? Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Have a good day, Mom.
Hi, how you doing? Good. I have a special escort. She's recording for me so that I can publish it on the interwebs. And I'm here to pick up public records.
Okay, is it the CD that you requested?
Yeah, that's it. That's the stuff. Hey,
Hey, how are you?
good. How are you, man?
Oh, I'm not Jim.
What's that? $4. You got the mayor walked in right behind me.
You dropped money.
It's okay. I'm rich. I can do that. I've got $35 in the bank.
I'll
Yeah.
pick it up for you.
Every last bit of $35 in the bank. Ballin'.
I need to have exact change. I don't have any change.
Exact change.
You can sign?
Yeah, they have to have it.
Well, I don't have exact change. I guess that means I get to come back and get another escort later, though, huh?
We need $4.
That should be fun.
I think he's helping you out.
I think I got.
Oh, no, I want to come back again later. All right, fine. Thank you.
I don't got,
Yeah, this.
I got 3.
Oh, you only got 3? Well, that won't work anyways.
Okay.
I appreciate it. All right.
You have it ready whenever you're ready to get back.
Okay. Are there any hearings going on today? When's the next time Gordon Bennett will be in a hearing here?
Monday. What was, let me check the calendar.
Sure. So I'm going to come to the next hearing that Bennett is presiding over and observe.
We
In-
don't have any, none of our hearings are in person.
Oh, none of them are?
Hearings are all virtual.
How come?
I'm not sure if that was an executive decision, not mine.
So there's I don't know if everybody can hear her because the microphone's not. She said, so I'll repeat it. Maybe you already heard it, but the court has made an executive decision not to have in-person hearings. And is that just at this courthouse or is that at all the courthouses?
I'm not sure. I just know what we're doing here.
Okay. All right. So to avoid the public from sitting in on hearings, I guess on Monday, I'll just get the link. I think they use, it's not Zoom, it's Google. And I'll just get the link for that hearing and you guys can all join there and we can go sit in on another one of Gordon Bennett's hearings.
Does magistrate ever hold court here anymore?
Do they ever what?
Magistrate doesn't hold court here anymore?
No.
Because I thought there was still 2 districts.
The circuit court was closed about 3 years ago.
Oh. That's very interesting. Because this building was built on a tax bond specifically so they could have magistrate and district court in one building.
So the taxpayers paid for this building to have court in here and they have decided not to have court in here. What's that? I'm sorry?
Mr. Bennett doesn't have any hearings till Wednesday.
Wednesday. What time?
They start at 9.
Mr. Bennett's hearings start Wednesday at 9. And is there a link for the Google Meets right now, or do we need to call in on Wednesday to get that?
You'll
need to call in.
Okay, so we'll just put the number out, and tens of thousands of you that want to join that hearing, they can just call here and get the Google Meets information, right?
Sure.
Awesome. So yeah, tens of thousands of phone calls. Since you can't be here in person, just call here and get the, and it's the 7th Judicial Court in Torrance County. All right, cool.
Thank you, Susie.
Thanks.
Have a good day.
What are you here for?
I'm trying to see if this actually exists. A release order.
Oh, for your, so
Yeah.
this is Nathan. His sister is the one that was arrested for not wearing the mask in court yesterday by Frazee. What's that?
Can you take your conversation outside?
Yeah.
So I can help this lady that's getting out.
Okay, I'll meet you out.
Oh, there's nobody else there. Yeah, there's nobody there. Yeah, so we could just hang out and talk here, right? Yeah, she's filling out paperwork.
Okay.
Cool, we can just hang out here then. So what were you saying?
Well,
Yeah, sure.
yeah, I'm sorry. I was wondering,
Hi.
can I get
I just like to not do as I'm told. You already know that, ma'am.
I know.
anything where,
You are respectful and polite, and I am not. Deputy Torres is so kind.
so I'd have to get that.
She is ready actually now, so.
Okay, all right. They did yesterday.
Still looking for the order, the release order?
Yeah. No, this is New Mexico courts. She has a conviction on New Mexico courts, and in the conviction it says there's a release order. So that's what I'm trying to get a copy of. I'll ask the sheriff's department. Other than that,
Well, I'm gonna head up to the court in Moriarty. Do you want to go? You got other stuff to do, huh?
I'll say while you're there, can you ask for these documents?
Yeah, I will. You want to ask Susie to make a copy of it, and I'll take it up there?
Well, let me see if the sheriff has it.
Yeah, sure.
If not, I can,
Yeah, let's go talk to the sheriff. Even better.
I can give you this because I can put it on something else.
He won't come out and talk to the camera.
Okay, that's fine. I just want to.
Yeah, it's really, I am spoiled rotten. This is not right. That I like recording everything, and now I've got a second angle from someone who's required to come and record for me, at the expense of the taxpayer too, though. Now the taxpayer's paying for my YouTube channel.
Yeah, magistrate court never ever occupied this side of the building.
Hey, live, but you're not on speakerphone. Hello? Oh, I dropped the call.
All right, guys, if you need me, I'm gonna be down.
All right, thank you, ma'am.
Good luck to you.
You think Frazee will come out and talk to you?
I'm not gonna ask.
If you need me, I'm not gonna.
Thank you.
The court said you may have a copy of this release order. Oh, that'd be awesome.
She is nice, Deputy Torres. She's a sweetheart. Her husband is nice too. If there's one thing that I would like to convey to my audience, it's that you don't have to follow orders. I don't care who you are, what position you're in, what job you've taken. You do not have to obey people who tell you to do things you shouldn't do.
I asked them if they can get a copy, and they said, no, I have to go to magistrate. And then they said, well, no, the sheriff's office should have a copy. Ask them.
We do have a copy.
You don't know if you can give it to me.
You, I mean,
Okay, no, that's fine.
but I mean, usually you know, since it's recorded,
Yeah, because Tina doesn't have it.
oh, she doesn't have it.
Nobody knows how she got out of jail.
If anybody doesn't already know, I did a follow-up live stream last night, but she was released immediately when she got to the jail.
Yeah, if you're going to Moriarty courts, if you check that and just ask for any and
The
all-
release documentation?
Well, just any copy of whatever's in this case,
Okay.
and then I can get, yeah.
Guys, there's contact information in the description for all kinds of places, from the Torrance County Sheriff's Office that decided to arrest someone for not wearing a mask, to the court where Judge Craig Davis ordered the arrest. There's contact information from them, to the Supreme Court of New Mexico, who made the mandate that people wear a muzzle only in the courtroom, and email to the Supreme Court. There's a phone number for the governor's office, the health department, which of New Mexico, which advises these people on what kind of tyrannical orders they should sign. There's numbers for that as well. And any other number that you guys can think of that you think you could or should call to try to help New Mexico understand we are done with your pandemic stuff. We're done with it. And you're going to end it. You're going to end it now. And we're not going to stop pushing and going live and having people call every damn number. Dang. Oh man, I was doing so good. Every darn number that they possibly can. And until something is actually done. And by that, I mean the orders are rescinded.
Apparently, when he brought her back in the second time yesterday to talk to her, that wasn't a talking to, that was an actual court hearing.
Right. Yep. And they didn't record it.
And they're saying it's per se that.
Pro se?
That she chose, yeah.
Which she would have to agree to.
Yeah.
She would have to be offered an attorney and then say, no, I'm pro se. But they just made her pro se.
Yeah. Believe me, there's so much.
Enough crying to master. Somebody says in the comments, you know, I'm not going to say I know what the solution is. I think that it'd be a good idea to meet up in front of the Supreme Court of New Mexico on a work day when they're there. That's what I think.
I can't believe they don't have magistrates anymore.
Because I can tell you this, you can't get a hold of the people who created and signed that order. I tried earlier today, and all I get is a receptionist, and I can show you guys that phone call. And I told the person who answered the phone, look, I know you're not the one who did this, and she didn't even agree with the order. And I said, it doesn't bother you at all that these people make these tyrannical orders, and then they are completely unreachable themselves, and they throw you in the line of fire to field all these phone calls and all these angry people while they're nowhere to be found? Isn't that concerning?
No. They just sent me over here. If I have to go to Moriarty, I'll go. Okay. Thank you very much. No, that's it. Cool.
Did you get it? The release order?
Yeah. Release, authority release, owner, release per judge. It's a release order.
At what time?
1628, but on the wrong day.
What day?
Everything's stamped the day before.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a mess. 22. It says the 22nd, doesn't it? That was yesterday.
Well, the other document was filed the 21st. One of them was misstamped. So. Okay.
Well, I don't know if I'm going to stay live all the way up to Moriarty or if I'll kill this and go live up there. What do you guys think in the chat? Should I stay live all the way up there, or kill the stream and reopen it when we get up there?
Yeah. Do you mind?
Yeah, absolutely. But you just got it, didn't you? What else do you need?
I don't know what all's in there. It may
Okay.
be this thick. It may be just this piece of paper, but this
Okay.
is one piece of paper. I definitely. So yeah, the court case. Just whatever copy of the file of the court case, and they'll charge you 25 cents a page or whatever it is.
Okay,
And just let me know.
got it.
Okay.
Give me one if you want me to stay live. I don't know how well the signal will work. We're in the middle of nowhere, so on the way up to Torrance, or on the way to the next courthouse, we might drop the stream anyways. We'll see. You guys hear about the sheriff here arresting someone for not wearing a mask yesterday?
No, what?
Yeah. So we're going to convene a grand jury, see if we can't get him indicted on deprivation of rights under color of law You know what the punishment is for deprivation of rights under color of law when it involves a kidnapping?
What's that?
Death is the punishment.
It's still on the books.
Yeah. So the sheriff in here, I don't know. I mean, he's got to get a trial before a jury first. But the last hanging in Estancia was in 1954?
I forget. The
1950
last-
something.
That's recent, man.
The last legal hanging. There was hangings after that. That was the
Okay.
last legal hanging.
Well, I mean, 75 years since the last 75 years, something like that. So,
Wow.
so he may end up, after due process, of course, the system is legitimate and we've got to use it. But yeah, looks like might be hanging, huh? I'm not the decider of that. That's up to the courts, the judges, all that stuff. But yeah.
So you guys, what do you guys are with, or what do you guys, what's your,
I'm the mayor of this town.
oh, shoot. Oh, nice to meet you there, sir. Nice to meet you. Wow, that's cool, man.
And I'm the guy who causes problems in this.
Daryl.
I'm James Freeman.
Nice to meet you guys.
Nice to meet you.
Mr. Mayor and James Freeman.
Yeah.
Don't call me Mr. Mayor.
Miss-
He says that.
Okay.
Well, sweet, man. It's good to meet you guys. What are you here for? You here to see Kathy?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Right on, man. Have a good one, guys.
Been there, done that.
You headed out, right?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Give me a call reference to tonight. There's really.
Yep.
No. There's only one thing on the docket, and it's a P&Z. So there's.
What time does it start at? 6 or
6.
6:30? Okay, 6. Got it.
I mean,
I'll
if
be
y'all
there.
Come. but
No, I'll be there.
There's almost nothing going on.
Okay, that's fine. I'll be there anyways, just to be there, right?
Yeah.
And see what the deal is with,
I'm pretty sure there's not gonna be any masks.
yeah. Well, Sheriff David Frazee didn't want to come out and explain himself.
Take care.
All right. I really want him to talk to me before I leave. I'm going to try one more time. I really think he needs to explain himself to the audience. Thanks, man. I really, really, really think he needs to explain himself. I'm going to try one more time. Say, I don't know, but I want to hear from him. Do you guys want to hear from him? And even if he has this excuse of, well, we have a contract that says we have to transport, then why did you say you wouldn't arrest people? You can watch live online at James Freeman on YouTube.
James Freeman.
Yeah,
I'll check
got
that
got
out.
about 1,400 people live watching now.
Oh, shit, I'm gonna do that right now.
Hey, I just wanted to try one more time and see if David Frazee Poopyhead would come out and address the audience and explain himself. I just want to give him one more chance before I leave. Thank you. She's also super sweet. Most of the people in this office, if not all of them, are really super sweet, nice people.
I'm still on the phone right now.
Okay.
Anything else?
Now I'll ask her to shake him and see if he'll come talk.
Okay.
Thank you. Poopy head on the phone. I need to start a business that helps government employees find work in the private sector. See you guys. I need to start, some type of nonprofit that helps government employees to be able to find productive work in the productive sector, so that they truly can just walk away, just leave. Yeah, I know, that's the tough thing, is that, actually having, a skill set that's worth anything in the private sector. I am going to end the stream. Whoops. I am going to end the stream. That way I can make a phone calls on my way up to the next place I'm going to. Frazee is a tyrant. Yeah, that way I can make some phone calls, and I'm going to go live when I get up there to the courthouse again. Please join back in, and while I'm gone, if you guys would please make phone calls and emails while I'm gone. Please, there's a whole list of people that you can contact to redress grievance in the description. There's a whole list of people. There's Facebook links. There's ETA is probably about 20 minutes, maybe 30 max. I might grab something to eat real quick and use the bathroom, make a couple phone calls, probably 30, let's say 30 to 45 minutes actually. That way I can make all my phone calls, eat, do everything. But in the meantime, please, what makes this effective is you guys. There was a deposition, for those of you who don't know about when I got arrested in Leon Valley a few years ago and we sued them. In deposition, Chief Joe Salvaggio testified, and he said in court under oath, the only thing that these guys do that's effective is they get their viewers to call us and email us. Oh, there's a lot of sheriff's deputies pulling in right now. There's 3 deputies that just pulled in. He said the only thing these guys do that's effective is gets people to call us and email us and contact us. And that is absolutely a reserved First Amendment right to redress your government, to petition your government for redress of grievances. And Joe Salvaggio testified under oath that is the most powerful thing. That is hands down absolutely the most powerful thing that we do. That's what gets things done. That's what gets them to the point where they're like, oh my gosh, we are so tired of hearing from the people that we were supposed to be working for. Oh, geez, let's just do what they say. I'll see you guys in about half hour, 45 minutes. Thank you guys.